The burden of desolation, the book containing record of the vision of Isaiah, the captive. He wrote concerning the last week, as he saw it take place in the final days thereof, 10 years afore the first plague. Isaiah, who was numbered among the captives of the land, where the virgin daughter of Babel doth stand liberally as elect lady, dwelt therein in a nethermost region west of her uttermost territories, which, being situate, is toward the easternmost expanse of Ras ha-Gadolah Bab Eliam, the land of great mystery. Therein, her furthermost coasts, expressly that which is to be called symbolically, by interpretation, the municipality most notable. For therein dwelleth the inglorious pride of the Kasdium's excellency, which exalteth her as widowless queen, therein that great city of her many fallen idols, one of which stood solitary within a melting pot, wherein is multitudes of many waters. As it is thus written, whereas Babel's virgin daughter now standeth proud and exalted, she is to be brought low, for she is to be made tributary amongst the hosts of nations, as therein the day and final hour, in which Yah's fury is revealed from heaven. Yea, for lo, against her is Yahusha Hatzedek Legemul Misyim, as for thus is by name, the just Adoni of tributary recompense, who is in the midst thereof to utterly destroy her. Now Isaiah, a chosen and elect witness of Yahuwah Adonai, to whom the word of Yahuwah was revealed in the days of Baraq, he saw it come to pass again, in the days of his successor, unto the 4th year of Joseph, presidents of America. For thus is the mystery of El which shall be revealed in the days of the sound of the last trump. For when it shall begin to be heard, as thus are the days in which the mystery of El would hath likewise been finished, as thus already been accomplished. Moreover, the sovereign word of El Yahuwah spake unto Isaiah in the very latter days, whilst therein the dispersion of promise, saying, Thus speaketh Yahuwah Adonai of Yasharel, Write thee all that I have revealed unto thee in a book, write the vision, and make it plain upon paper, that whosoever readeth of thee would run with fear. That is the prophecy concerneth thee. For the vision, yet for the time appointed, hath now come, where thou shalt now speak, and not lie. Though I tarried, wait for me, for I shall not tarry, I shall delay no longer. Thus it came to pass, during the last week of the month, which were in the final days of the year, just afore times of new beginnings, as I was seated upon my bed, the books were opened, and from thence saw I visions of desolation. Upon the 25th day of the 10th month, which is the month Teveth, during the inaugural term of Baraq, in the 1st year of his reign, I, Isaiah of decreed captivity, perceived by the sacred books the number of the years, whereof the word of Yahuwah came expressly to the prophet Daniy'el, that his people would accomplish 490 years in much suffering, and in great affliction, scattered in chains abroad the 4 winds of the earth, as slaves a 2nd time, therein the destitution of Mitsrayim. But the hand of Yahuwah was strong upon me, therein the dispersion of promise, and in those days none had any understanding of what hadst become of me, for mine activities had to do with the sacred books, and with them were the sum of my days in seclusion well spent. Yea, for I waste wholly engaged, as I sought the end thereof, and as touching my generations, waste there none with me, to uphold the understanding thereof. For what I saw in those days appertained the end of all flesh, which being not for very many days thence, and as for mine appetite, it utterly failed, and I couldst not eat, nor retain pleasant bread, neither meat. I drank no wine, nor didst any strong drink enter thitherto mine mouth, nay, not until the number of the days, and the visions thereof the set apart week were, yea, wholly consummated. As for my soul, waste I grieved as unto death, and mine ruach vexed as unto the depths of Sheol. Therefore anointed I myself with fragrant olive oil, as to be embalmed, thus departing from the terror which hadst overtaken me, even as birth pangs come suddenly upon a woman, soon to be delivered of all her children. And for such cause diminished I to mere naught, and drifted I away unto a time of great tribulation, yet not for a remote generation, that which was prophesied for to come, that which waste for to succeed at a distant generation, but yea, instead, for this final one. Then lifted I mine eyes to see, and behold, there was a book, upon which was an inscription written, the Word of El. Thus sought I diligently, and yea, whiles I sought knowledge, wisdom, and understanding concerneth the end of the matter, which foremost piqued the zeal of mine intrigue. Yea, it was whiles yet seeking, that behold, another book was opened unto me. Therein was this message inscribed, that which symbolically is to be interpreted, the mystery of Elohim revealed, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets. Yea, sought I diligently the end of the matter. And yea, whiles yet comparing earnestly the pages of the two opened books, the eyes of mine ruach were opened by El, that I shouldest behold visions of these great and terrifying wonders. Moreover, came it to pass shortly thereafter, whiles the watcher appointed over mine well-being, and I were yet speaking, that the word of Yahuah spake unto me, as at a first time, thus bidding me to behold a great and wondrous marvel, thus saying, Look outside thy window. As thus walked I towards the window, looking down thitherward for to see. Yea, stood I near the window, looking down from the lofty view of mine high abode. And I, Isaiah of decreed captivity, considered as I saw in a terrifying vision by day two great beasts, yea, even most terrible to behold. For lo, possessed they the appearance of ravenous wolves, yet walked they erectly, as having the posture of an upright man. The two great beasts hadst hairs upon them, which were as the dark and gloomy sky covering the earth, as afore their torrential former and latter rain. Their teeth and claws were sharp, likened unto the edge of a razor, and their eyes were red, yea, even redder than that of crimson. Lo, and behold, saw I both beasts breaking into what appeared unto me in those days as a locked vehicle, as though their intent were to seize the great dominion, as to see who wouldest flee, possessing in hand the glorious spoil locked in the vehicle therein. For both beasts hadst in hand bashing instruments, which were as unto their quest for the iron sceptre. Thus considered I the first and second beasts as they shattered into pieces the glass of the locked vehicle, that which was in the midst of the lot thereof. And yea, verily, they were carnally carnivorous and dangerously defiant, both in nature and of law. And for such cause, even as when I first beheld them, I, Isaiah of decreed captivity, waste exceeding sore afraid. Then turned I unto the watcher over my well-being, for solace, and to confirm, and to inquire on account of the sighting, whether it was seen as simultaneous, same, or even of similar sorts. Notwithstanding, the watcher appointed over mine well-being, with great perplexity, as thus said unto me, I see not what thou hast seen, for I, Isaiah, alone saw the vision. Now whether which of the beasts succeeded, as to prevail and take the glorious spoil of the locked vehicle, that which waste in the midst of the lot thereof, at that time I knew not. Nay, neither hadst I any understanding, for the vision was yet for the time appointed, though not very many days thence. Moreover, it came to pass, during the latter days, which were in the week, towards the month's latter end, about a short space afore the 6th and final hour, a woman of great mystery was unveiled afore me, as an outsider, standing betwixt the lintel of the door and the posts thereof, and as thus she didst bear a wondrous message of what I canst only describe to be exceeding great sin. For I alone didst hear the loud and thunderous knock at the door of mine dwelling. Thus hastened I to answer, and yea, I alone didst see upon opening another marvel, yea, greater and ever more wondrous to behold. For that which was unveiled afore me was the Lady of Kingdoms. She stood before me adorned as a woman of business, yea, most prominently over political administration, though as a widow in bereavement, as one mourneth the loss of their many unfaithful lovers. Yet, as without guilt appertaineth the atrocity of his unjust murder, as for her visage of darkness, yea, she was veiled as blameless, Yea, even concerneth that great crime committed against the elect of El, namely, the great crime committed against the children of the kingdom, they who, as for a moment, were dismembered from the body of the bridegroom. For thus beheld I the woman who was appointed over great mystery, she who is not guiltless. For yea, verily, thereupon her hands art stained with the blood of multitudes of many innocent men, yea, even stained with the slain, the blood of El's little ones, just as in the days of the martyrdom, that atrocious act which she committed against the bridegroom's body. For these are all they who art to be beheaded of her. And lo, considered I this, the inscription of exceeding great sin, which written upon her forehead, thus revealeth, as in the very interpretation thereof, one of several severe sentences, which art malignant maledictions of great blasphemy, for it is as thus written, yea, most notably, not a mystery, America the Great, the mother of whoredoms and abominations of the earth,